This deep dive video features another item from our range that a man can wear to a fetish club. This is the leather kilt. I've met a number of well-built and larger men who favour a kilt when it comes to going out clubbing. This is partly because a kilt suits their shape and size, but there are other advantages to wearing a kilt to a club, and there are reasons why one of these leather kilts is a great option. Fetish clubs quite often have a strict dress code. This means that unless you're wearing leather or latex or PVC, you're not going to get in. Over the years that I've been on the scene, I've noticed an explosion in the number of latex designers. There seems to be an ever-increasing array of latex styles to choose from. But if latex isn't your thing, if you don't like the smell or the sensation of it, or indeed if you're allergic to latex, then leather could be the fetish fabric for you. This kilt in particular was made from a side of garment weight cowhide. Besides having a different smell and feel compared to latex, this leather kilt is both breathable and durable. There's very little chance that this leather kilt will split if someone brushes past you in a hot and sweaty nightclub. And the combination of the breathable fabric and the design means that you're likely to retain your cool in more ways than one. Whether you're a dom or a sub or a switch, there are some great features on this kilt too. So when it comes to some of the features of this kilt, as I said, it's soft, buttery garment leather. This is just lovely, lovely stuff. I've loved working with leather over the past few years. It has some different qualities to normal fabric, and as long as you know what those qualities are, it's pretty easy to work with, really. As with our fabric kilts, this leather kilt has got a pocket, which is detachable, as you've just witnessed. This is great when you're going out clubbing because you need somewhere to keep your bits and pieces in. You've got a front pocket, which is lined with a lovely red satin, and you've got another pocket here, which is great for your phone or maybe your keys. And these, as you saw, can just be clipped on. So if you're not wearing a kilt and you're wearing a pair of trousers maybe another day when you're not out clubbing and you need an extra carrying space, then you could always clip this to your trousers, or you could use the webbing at the back, feed your belt through there and then have that attached to your belt. And these are pretty hardy things. We normally reduce the stitch length when we sew these pieces on here because we know that they are quite often under a fair amount of strain, and there's a couple of lines of stitching. If at any time after your purchase of a Jed Phoenix of London garment, if at any time anything goes wrong, we need to know about it so that we can fix it. We want our garments to last as long as they can do, which we hope is going to be quite a long time. And so we need that feedback from you guys. If you've bought something, you're not quite happy with it, then please let us know what's gone wrong with it so we can fix it. When it comes to the kilt, you've got a waistband here. This is made out of 2 layers of webbing, and it has some D-rings on it. This is so that you can attach the pouch to it, but you can imagine what else you could attach to it. As long as it's got some sort of clip, then you can clip maybe floggers and paddles and bits and pieces of equipment from the waistband of your kilt. You've got a couple of clips here, and these just stop the front panel from flying up when you don't want it to. You can unclip them whenever you like. And you've got a bit of adjustability on this kilt as well, probably about 4 or 5 inches. Although it's best to buy the kilt that fits your upper hip. People generally wear kilts on their upper hip, maybe on their waist. I personally have got quite a short body and long legs, so everything I wear sits on my upper hip because my waist, it would just look weird if I put everything on my waist. So measure around your body where you want to wear your kilt, and if that's not your normal waist measurement, if it's a little bit larger than your waist measurement, don't worry about it. The label's on the inside of the garment. Only me and you will know. You can always take the label out of the garment after you bought it if you don't really like the number that label says. But we want kilts that fit you. So measure around your body where you want to wear the kilt, and then you've got a little, like a few inches of leeway either side of that. But we want it to look good on you. So other features of the kilt, you've got pleats going around the waistband and over the hips, and we've top stitched these pleats in just a few inches just to maintain that shape. But it also means that you've got more fullness around the bottom of the kilt. We do these kilts in a fabric version, and in those fabric versions we stitch the pleats all the way down, and that actually gives it a bit more of a straight profile, which some people like. But in the leather kilt I decided to do things a little bit differently to give it a fuller profile. And then at the back, this flat panel, and you might see that there are cheeky zips here. This means that you can unzip the back panel. Now, I've heard a story of a guy who was wearing one of the fabric versions of these, and he really liked being a little bit cheeky, and he'd position the zips literally just under his butt cheeks, and when he'd be walking upstairs he'd give a quick turn over his shoulder and he'd see a load of people trying to look up his kilt, because there is that whole thing of what does a man wear under his kilt. Well, you can wear whatever you like under a kilt. This has a red satin lining on the back of the kilt, but we can tailor make the lining of the back panel of the kilt specifically to you. So we've done this quite recently, made one of these kilts with a tartan on the inside of the back panel to match someone's waistcoat. So if you've got any requests like that, then we can do that kind of thing. So you can unzip this back panel completely. It's especially useful if you're submissive and you've been a little bit naughty, or you just want to be cheeky. So those are some of the features of this leather kilt. It's beautiful, durable, breathable, as I say. If you wear this to a club, it's probably going to be quite a good conversation starter, and yeah, hopefully get you quite a bit of attention.